Welcome everybody to another video of Dead by Daylight. My name is Cubeproductions. Today we're using Score Merchant as always. Before we get into the gameplay, I wanted to show y'all that in the time of recording this video, this is the Nicolas Cage update where they updated and added Nicolas Cage and did a lot of perk changes, and they changed maps and different things like that. I want to showcase y'all these different perks that the game that they decided to buff or change. Now, I plan to actually do a video of all these perks, not like all of them together, but I'm trying to do maybe videos of all of them and use them with Score Merchant just to see if these perks are actually good now or better. Some of these perks are already pretty good anyway, but as a result, I'm going to try to do videos like that. The first perk you're going to see me use is going to be, here we go, Trail of Torment. Which is weird considering how it's the last one, but I'm going to use Trail of Torment because Trail of Torment I think already was a good perk, and they kind of buffed it and made it a little better. So I have two games for y'all to showcase Trail of Torment in this game. Stay tuned. Okay, playing on the Fractured Cowshed, Cold Wind Farm. This I believe is not one of the maps that got changed, if I remember correctly, but it is a annoying map. Oh, not lie. I think this map did get changed. I don't remember. I don't really play on this map very often at all, so I don't really remember. And I didn't really read the patch notes. I don't really care about the buffs to the perks because I normally play Survivor or Killer, and I want to make sure I can use certain perks. But anyway, like usual, we're gonna go put drones on all of these gens. And normally in the intro of my video, I talk about the perks, but this time I'm gonna do it in the game because I wanted to show y'all the different perks that I'm gonna be using later on. Everyone's using Nicolas Cage, of course, because Nicolas Cage is fun. He is really funny. All his perks are kind of cool. And I don't really think any of them are honestly that broken, but the only perk that kind of annoys me is the one that guy just used right now, where he downs himself, and then he sits on the ground for 30 seconds, and then after 30 seconds, he will automatically be fully healed back from the dying state, which is kind of funny. But the only reason why I don't really care that much about that perk is because for 30 seconds, he's not doing anything. So I guess it's fine. But now I'm gonna chase Nia, who I'm pretty sure also has some of the Nicolas Cage perks. And then Nicolas Cage over there is trying to, I don't know what he's doing honestly. But anyway, let's talk about our perks. We have Scourge Hook, Paying Residence like always, and we have Papa Goes the Weasel. But then we have Trail of Torment. Like I said, I was gonna use Trail of Torment in the game, and you're gonna see that. And the last perk I'm using is called Dragon's Grip. What Dragon's Grip does is when you kick a generator, that generator becomes basically like, not tainted, but kind of becomes a trap. If a survivor were to work on the generator that you just kicked, then they automatically become exposed for 60 seconds. But then Dragon's Grip has a cooldown of 80 seconds, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Trail of Torment, what it does, if you kick a generator, that you become untouchable forever until that generator stops regressing. So if it goes down to 0, or if a survivor touches it, then generator will stop regressing. But you do become untouchable for a super long time because of the fact that you don't have, because no one's doing the gen. Now the reason why I use this build on Score Merchant is because first thing, when you kick a generator or Trail of Torment and you become untouchable. By the way, Nia killed herself on the hook. I don't know why, but she just said, I'm not fighting Score Merchant. Lol. I didn't pay for this DLC so I could fight against Score Merchant. No. But anyway, when you kick a generator with Trail of Torment activates, and then every single survivor in the entire game knows that will see the aura of that generator in yellow, meaning they know that generator has Trail of Torment on it, and all they have to do is touch it once, and then Trail of Torment goes away, and then it has an 80-second cooldown for some reason. Oh, or the 90 or the 60. No, I lied. It's 60 seconds. It has a 60-second cooldown, which is really annoying. But oh well, it makes sense that you're becoming untouchable, which is an extremely strong side effect, and one of my favorite side effects actually. So because of that reason, it makes sense why it would be a long cooldown. But because we know that the survivors are going to know that generator is yellow, we're going to use Dragon's Grip, and they're going to test the gen. Then I'm going to be they're going to be exposed, and I'm going to be untouchable, and basically I get a free down for no reason. Also, that annoying Nicolas Cage saved him, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna activate this now, have untouchable, and if they touch that gen, they're exposed. And Nicolas Cage was like, I'm not gonna let you do that gen. I'm not gonna let you kick that gen and regress. And he touched it, and then he screamed because it also makes you scream. And then I knew immediately he's exposed, I immediately downed him because, yeah. Then I used Pop Goes the Weasel, and then the generator lost all progress. So basically, he just let me regress a gen by like 25% and got himself killed, all because of the fact that he decided to touch it for half a second. And this works so well on Score Merchant compared to other killers, because the whole thing with Score Merchant is you want to get out this game as fast as possible because you know she's going to protect the gens. So when you see, well, and because you know that if you're going to see a, what's it called? If you're going to see the generator be yellow, you're going to know that that's Torment, and you don't want to make the killer be untouchable forever, so you're going to do the work on the gen. Knowing this, they will touch it and become exposed. What's the reason we that? That is the reason why I chose this build. I think it's actually really good, and I recommend using it. But also, that's the reason why I use Torment in this video to showcase the first perk out of all the perks that are got buffed. Torment, in my opinion, is already a good perk. So I'm not gonna say I don't know why I got buffed, but one thing I will say is it was already a good perk. So the fact that it got buffed makes me really, really happy. The buff didn't really do much though. I think I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember what the perk did before it got buffed. I think it was like the same thing, but like maybe like one different change. But I don't really remember. All I know is it got buffed, and I'm going to be using it. Anyway, we just hooked like literally 5 people while I was talking. Sorry about that. But the problem is Nia, she killed herself on the hook, so she's like, I'm done. Then I forgot about this update. Also, they introduced the bot system, where now if a survivor DCs, they become a bot, and bots will play instead of just you getting a DC. Now I like that change, especially when you're playing survivors, because of the fact that instead of me just having a 3v1 now, I have a 4v1 question mark. And the bot, honestly, the bots in WWE are not that bad. They know how, I'm not gonna know how to loop. You can definitely play around a bot, that's the whole point. But at the same time, they are not like terrible, they actually know what they're doing. So because of that, I look, and Ada is a bot, because Ada is like, I'm not playing against Score Merchant, bleh. So if you watch my videos from now on, you'll see a lot of bots, because literally every time I play Score Merchant, people leave the game. It's kind of annoying. But the only thing I kind of hate about the bots is the fact that now the game takes longer. Also, this Nicolas Cage decided to say in my germ radius knowing he's oblivious. I don't know why he did that. Like, you're literally oblivious and I can see where you are. But whatever. So as a result, he stays inside of the germ radius and he dies as a result. And I believe that's his last hook, actually. I could be wrong. But I realized the only problem I have with bots is, like I said, first thing is I wish the game would just end sometimes. Like, oh, someone's dead. Someone left the game because they rage quit. Oh, someone left the game because they're tired of fighting my Score Merchant. Okay, I understand. But I wish the game would just end and say, oh, not like end, but like, because that person left, I'm like, okay, well, the other teammates are going to leave now, so I can go to the next game where I hopefully I can have 4 teammates instead of having 1. Instead of having, well, not 4 teammates. Have 4 survivors instead of only having 3. But instead what ends up happening is now it's a bot. And like I said, it's a good thing, but it's just like, okay, I want the game to end. And then it didn't hit me until recording, by the way, that Ada was a bot. At the last part of the game, I realized it, because I realized when you're facing a bot, I don't know, they don't like doing gens. I don't know how they're programmed to deal with Score Merchant or deal with certain killers. But I noticed that bots don't go on generators if a drone's near it at all. They just don't. And I also realized that for some reason I noticed that the bot would always go at the corner of the map, like not at the corner, but the bot would try and be as far away as possible from the killer, even though there's no gens on that side of the map. It was the weirdest thing ever. No survivor really does that. They'll try and still do the gens because that's the whole objective they have. But for some reason, this bot was like, no. Like, for example, I look all the way in the corner and I see, not only do I see a Chrome move, I see a random Ada, and I'm like, huh? And that's when I realized it hit me, it was a bot, because of the way they were running, and then the fact that it also says bot at the bottom. Then I missed because I'm bad. But it doesn't really matter because this Ada can't only go anywhere. And then I look in the corner and I see there's a Nicolas Cage. So because that, I really want to chase him, because I know that Ada's a bot and there's no way she has unbreakable. Oh, I'm not going to say she's not unbreakable. I'm pretty sure the bot is going to keep the exact same perks that the player had before they DC'd or quit. But either way, I do feel like the Ada quit, because Nia killed herself in the hook, and then Ada's just like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. I hooked her, I think, twice or once? I think it was once. I could be wrong. And then she's just like, yeah, nah, this is too much for me. But anyway, I'm trying to swing right here. I'm thinking he's at the pallet. I swing a lot, by the way, now, because I noticed that it's better to swing sometimes than it is to try a mind game. Because if I swing and I miss, oh okay, then one of three things happen. I swing, hit them. I swing, miss, but I block them from dropping the pallet. Or the last option, I swing and wait, I swing, miss, and then they drop the pallet on me. So, or they keep running. So because of that reason, I just swing every single time now. But I believe I have 2 videos. Like I said, I have 2 games for y'all because this game was really fast paced, and also it was the fact that the Ada was a bot. But one thing I want you to understand with this build, it might look like, oh, protecting generators only, Scrumber, haha, lol, I might find a fight against this. No. This build is the complete opposite, actually, of protecting gens. The point of this build is to purposely make survivors do a certain gen. That way I can make them expose and kill them. And then with brown noise generators, they're going to be oblivious. So then it's like, okay, now you're exposed, oblivious, and sometime I'll be unintelligible too if I have that on a different gen. So because of that reason, it's like you just got a really, really good combination of perks that work really well. And survivors love doing gen, especially against my scrub merchant. They love at least tapping the gen after I put the drone up there, and then they tap it and they get exposed. So it's like, okay, I win. But let's go to the second game so I can show you how great this build is. Okay, we are on Wretched Shop, Autohaven Wreckers. This map I do not like that much, but I also don't hate it. It's like a balanced-ish map. It's surprisingly big-ish for a Autohaven Wreckers map, but because Autohaven Wrecker, I don't really have any problems, honestly, dealing with most of stuff that happens in it. I'm not really worried about much. Now, I did see a Nicolas Cage immediately because there's 4 Nicolas Cages because this update just came out. And then he screams after I hit him. I'm like, huh? So then I try and follow him, but I get lost a little bit, even though when I record this now, I realize that he's one left. But I get lost and I see him in the corner, and I realize he's trying to hide. I'm like, why? So I'm going to down him, and I'm going to quickly pick him up. Now, I forgot to mention also the add-ons we're using. Of course, we're using Brown Noise Generator, but in the last game, we also used, of course, Advanced Mood Prediction. No, I lied. We used Geographical Readout, which lets us get a boost to everything, basically. The reason why I'm using that one is because, in my opinion, Geographical Readout is better than Advanced Mood Prediction, and that's because of the fact that moving 2% faster, sometimes 5% faster, it's really good, especially against survivors who like to use made for this, or just and then doing everything in 15% fast, like kicking gens, breaking walls, everything like that. Doing everything faster is really, really strong. So this game, we're using the same build, except we have one key difference. I got rid of, what's that perk called? I got rid of, can't remember the name, but it'll come to me in a minute. But I got rid of one of my perks for overcharge. I got rid of Pop Goes Weasel. I got rid of Pop Goes Weasel for overcharge because I realized that I kicked generators and then the progress would go down. And even though yes, it would activate my perks, at that same time, it felt like I wasn't getting any value out of what's it called, Dragon's Grip, or the other perk, can't remember the name of it, Trail of Torment, because the generator would have so little progress that Trail of Torment would just go away. Because like I said before, the way Trail of Torment works now is you kick a gen as long as the cooldown is up, and as long as that generator is still regressing, it will give you the unintelligible side effect. But if you use Pop Goes the Weasel, that generator will no longer regress anymore. Like, it will regress, but it won't, what's the word I'm looking for? It will regress, but eventually it will reach, 0 because you use Pop Goes the Weasel and lost 25%. So I changed the overcharge, which I never knew, by the way. Oh, first let's talk about what overcharge does, in case you don't know what overcharge does. What overcharge does, when you kick a generator, that generator is, well, next time a survivor charges that generator, they're going to be hit with a really, really, really difficult skill check. And if they fail the skill check, of course, they'll lose the normal generator regression that any person will lose if they fail a skill check. But also what it does, if they fail that really hard skill check, they lose an additional 4%. And any generators affected by overcharge will regress 130% faster instead of the normal 85%, which is weird. But I don't know why generators regress 85% anyway. Or maybe, but I was like, okay, I never knew about that. So of course I'm going to use that. But now I look, and this Ace, by the way, Ace and Nicolas Cage look the exact same, by the way, in the portraits. Because in this update they changed the portraits. But Ace and Nicolas Cage look the exact same in some of these portraits. But Ace is exposed, and luckily he ran to the shack where I already had a drone up, so I could activate that drone and become re-exposed. So we're in a good spot. We lost 2 gens really fast, but it doesn't really matter because we just kind of hooked 4 people in like 2 minutes, and it was really fast. And now we're going to kick this gen, which will activate my Trail of Torment, and also activate Dragon's Grip, and also activate Overcharge. It's so good. And then of course Pain Resonance. The main reason why I use Pain Resonance, I don't really know what the meta perks are, by the way. But one thing I will say is I was gonna use this drone to try and get this Nicolas Cage exposed. But sadly he kept running, so I was not able to ever get him exposed that way. So I just had to just hit him after he dropped it on the pallet. But he goes around for some reason, so I'm gonna hit him. Cause he doesn't know where I am. But then he got exposed and he died. I was like, huh? But I think what happened was he used that perk where he like can't dramaturgy where he screams, and then 1 of 4 things happened. I believe he got unlucky, he got exposed. I could be wrong, but that's what I think happened. But I'm still untouchable. That's the reason why I love Trail of Torment, and I want to use it in my normal builds, and I might even do that. Is being untouchable is just so good. Now, one thing I will say is when you're untouchable, you don't have a terror radius. So I mean, or you're all red stain, by the way. So because of that reason, I can't use Desolation and this perk together because I'm not gonna have a terror radius. So if I chase someone and they bought a pallet, it's not gonna break. So I'm not gonna use Desolation with that. I remember this wall because this wall is kind of strong. But other than that, I feel like it is a good perk. And even though the cooldown is 6 seconds, I think it's worth it because it's really good. But also at the same time, it's like a person can literally tap the gen once, and then it's like, okay, well there goes my untouchable. But at the same time, it's like it's a really strong perk. So I think that's the reason why the cooldown is so long. But anyway, this ace is gonna keep running, but he's smart and realized that I'm not going to stay there and let him drop the pallet. So instead he's gonna run towards this pallet. But I'm not an idiot. For some reason in my head, I knew Ace had Dead Heart. I don't know how to describe it, but I knew Ace had Dead Heart. Like I'm just intelligent or I'm psychic. I could just feel it in my bones. So I knew he had Dead Heart. So I purposely waited for him to go into that pallet, and I didn't hit him. And he wasted his Dead Heart, which made me so happy. But it was so weird because in my head I'm like, why do I know you have Dead Heart? It just was a weird feeling, but that was really smart. I think because he kept looking behind him, so my brain was like, yeah, that's Dead Heart. But anyway, Trail of Torment's gonna activate. I'm gonna try and go after this person over here because I know I looked at my drone and I realized there was someone here. So I was gonna go after them. But then I turn around and they're not there anymore, so I'm like, But then there was this Nicolas Cage who, some reason why, running away from me instead of trying to do the gen. But I'm undetectable, so he doesn't see my red stain, so he doesn't know where I'm coming from, and it's kind of hard for him to tell exactly where I am. So as long as no one does that generator, then I'm gonna be untouchable forever. But then they finally touched that gen, so now I'm no longer untouchable. Then Nicolas Cage drops the shack pallet for some reason. Like I don't know why you do that. You don't drop the shack pallet, but it doesn't really matter because now I'm going to go against I'm gonna go over here, but then I get scared. Like he really jumped off of that hill or something. I don't know where he came from, honestly, but he went somewhere and then he just decided he wanted to go over here, and I'm a little confused as to why he ran towards me. I don't know if because he was oblivious or because he just was trying to do some weird tech. I don't know. But either way, he ran towards me and then I accidentally killed him. I didn't know he was dead on hook, by the way. But then he's dramaturgy, I believe it's called, and then he screams twice. By the way, I think the way the perk works is you scream, and then 1 of 4 things happen. You can either get exposed for 12 seconds, get a 200% speed boost that lasts for 2 seconds, scream a second time and have no effect, basically, or get a random item that of good rarity, or not good rarity, from a random item. So I know he's exposed now because Ace is inside the same side of the drone radius and inside of this loop. I don't know why he did that. Again, Ace looks exactly like, I'm telling you, Ace and Nicolas Cage look the exact same. You can't tell me otherwise. It looks so similar. But wait for him to drop that pallet, because I know once he drops this pallet, there's no way he can make this pallet without getting exposed and dying. So I'm about to hook him, but the reason why I don't hook him yet is I want to make sure there's no one on this gen, which I know there are. So I'm going to go over here and try and stop him from going on this gen, which I do. Kick this gen, activate Dragon's Grip, and also become untouchable. Now I'm gonna go back towards Ace and I'm going to end up picking him up. And then I hear someone scream. So in my head I'm like, I should have enough time to hook him and get towards the generator because overcharge activated and he lost 9% of that gen, I believe it was. Yeah, he lost 9% of the gen. And in my head I was thinking, well, he's oblivious. He's not gonna do that gen. And I was right, because he looked at my drone. There is no one on that drone. I mean, there's no one in that generator. and as a result, I have to chase this person down. But the problem is, I don't know which person it is that got exposed. And I sadly found the wrong person because I realized the only person that I exposed had to have some drone bar on him. I guess everything like the drone had to have scanned him a little bit. So I knew that it had to be this person. I mean, I knew it had to be the other person, which made me kind of mad. But he got rid of my drone. I know he's on the generator. I checked my radar to make sure, but I don't really care because I'm gonna go over here. But then sadly, I believe he used not Dramaturgy. He used the other perk that I can't remember the name of, and he got a 200% speed boost. No, I lied. Dramaturgy, I think, is the one where he gets the 4 different effects. I don't remember the other perk. Oh well. But he's another perk where he screams and he can see my aura for some reason. And I like that perk actually. I don't think any of Nicolas Cage's perks are broken. I did see a video by Scott Games that he was like, the Dramaturgy or whatever perk it is that makes them go knees high does give them a little bit of distance, like a tiny bit, like that how it used to do. And I do feel like they should change that because any perk that gives you random distance for no reason should be changed. But I don't know if it's like utterly busted or just like good. So they complete that gen right there. But I noticed I wasn't protecting any gens for the entire game really because like I said before, this build is not really about protecting gens. It's about making them get exposed and me being unattackable. If I what's it called? That's the whole point of this build. If I really wanted to protect gens, honestly, just get rid of overcharge and use the perk, what's it called? Eruption. Which is kind of funny. I've actually never used eruption in any of my videos, I think, because eruption reminds me of the bad, not most of the bad, but there was a time where eruption used to give survivors the, I think it's called incapacitated status effect, which is the one where they can't open exit gates, they can't open exit gates, they can't, I think, heal each other. Could be wrong. I know they can't open exit gates and they can't do certain action like do generators. They used to do that. When it did that, it was broken because basically all survivors would do was all the killers would do was continuously kick gens. And then once you kick a gen, once you down someone, eruption will activate, and then every person on a generator will be incapacitated and they can't do much for like 8 seconds or however long it was. And it was really, really strong because they basically, the generator lost progress and survivors literally don't have the ability to do gens. It was really, really strong. But I was like, well, oh well. Then all Nicolas Cages are using this last perk that I can't remember the name of because I don't really remember his perk name. I just remember what they do. This perk, if you look on the left, you see that someone is injured, not injured, is in dying state, but I never put them in the dying state. That's the perk. What the perk does, you automatically go in the dying state, and then after 30 seconds, you get healed to full. Well, not after 30 seconds, but after you recover from the dying state, you get fully healed. So you go from being dying, skip injured, and back to full health, which is kind of cool. I don't think it's broken or anything, actually. And it's a really, really easy way to counter it called Deer Stalker. Deer Stalker just lets you see the aura of all people on the ground or in the dying state. So Deer Stalker literally completely counters that perk. So I thought I had a time to hit Ace right there, but I'm pretty sure he has resilience, because there's no way he would have vaulted that window so fast. But especially it was a slow vault too, so I was like, oh wow. But I'm going to activate all my drones, because I realized that someone definitely has to be at the exit gate. So luckily I activated this drone, and I see that Nicolas Cage is definitely at the exit gate, and he's oblivious, but he's going to most likely try and still do the gate, and he's probably almost done with it at the time of me getting there. But luckily for me, he's oblivious, and he does not have the exit gate completed yet. So I'm going to down him and I'm going to kill him because he's definitely dead on hook. And I know that if I kill him right now, all I have to do is find the hatch, which I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to find because my luck is terrible. But we'll see what happens. And if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments if you want to see more games like this where I do more than one game. I thought about doing these. The only reason why I don't do it is because I feel like I've seen WLS content creators make like 30-minute videos, and there's like 4 different games in a row. And I do like that concept, honestly. I just feel like sometimes I don't know if y'all want to watch really long videos or not. And also, I'm playing Score Merchant, and a lot of times the videos are pretty gonna be long because of Score Merchant's playstyle. Even though the way I play Score Merchant is definitely different from the way other people play. And I've seen y'all's comments, and also I just know in general, like people have been saying in the comments that I make her look fun, or I play her differently. And it's true, I do. I don't focus on gens And you can like my perks might be like, oh, like I have Papa Goes the Weasel and I have Pain Resonance. Oh, that's 2 Jin perks, but that doesn't mean I'm focusing on Jins. The whole point is to use your drones and the Jin perks to basically stop the Jins for you, and then you focus on the chase. That's the whole point, and I feel like that's how you should play Score Merchant. But a lot of people don't play like that. They like the 3 Jin only. But sadly, Nicolas Cage does find the hatch and he gets out. But like I said, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You know, I love reading those comments, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a nice day.